Welcome to Micro Adventure World. My name is Derek Cullen and I'm hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. What you might notice right now is that I am no longer in the desert. So for the first time since I began this trip at Campo, the border of Mexico, I am not hiking in the Mojave Desert. The desert pretty much disappeared yesterday morning. All traces of it are gone. It's been replaced by these big huge pine trees, big blue skies. I saw a lake earlier today and there's rivers every 5 to 8 miles, which is a big difference from the 25-mile stretches we saw in the Mojave.
You may have noticed already, I feel inspired out here. I'm not so sure anyone fully understands that word, inspiration, but I've been taking these trips for a few years now and something always seems to happen on them. In some ways I feel this is down to my recent life choices, and in others, if you will allow me to digress, it just makes me feel closer and more at ease with the universe.
I can't believe it. When you've been walking in the Mojave Desert for so long, even though you know this is coming, you can't quite believe that you're about to see snow. And it's only days since we left the desert now. But yeah, it's just stunning. Look, the little marmot here. Hey buddy.
I mean, even the smallest things can feel so much more important up here and much more profound. Like these airplanes which seem to be going right overhead.
Like small snowfield or whatever you want to call it. You can't walk through it because all the ice is melting on top. Even if you follow the tracks, I don't have trekking poles to check the ground in front of me, so be looking at certain injury. So what I did was, as safely as possible, I went all the way around and I had to go way down there and back up again to get around it. Now I just have to find the trail again, which is not very clear at this point, but we'll find it. We'll get there. Wow, I'm now at the highest point of the trail, which is in the Sierra Mountains. It's called Forester's Pass, and I think it's more than 13,500 feet. I'm out of breath because there were huge switchbacks for the last mile, and I just got coming up to see this site just now. Just felt a little bit emotional at the same time. Very inspired. Whoa, whatever you think you can't do, you probably can. You probably can do it. Oh man, I wish you could all be here to see this. Looking in the screen, it just can't do it justice. All these mountains, they're all like 13, 14, 15,000 feet. It's just spectacular. Oh man, very scary. Just had to slide down this here on loose rock and my hands are just frozen, soaking my back, my feet. I'm hoping to bypass as much of this snow as possible before it gets too late. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love. But yeah, I don't really like camping on my own anymore. I think you can compare, someone told me you can compare it to standing on a 500-year-old bridge, wondering whether it's going to collapse beneath you. Deep down, you know it's not going to happen. That's kind of what wild camping's like, you know. You worry about all these things that can happen to you. You're out here in the middle of nowhere on your own, but deep down you know nothing's gonna happen.
Ironically, something did happen that night.
Last night is the first night I could definitively say there was a bear outside the tent. It sounded quite big because although they walk softly, the footsteps are very heavy. And the breathing, it went right past my head. The breathing was so loud that it just stunned me. I was just trying not to make any noise whatsoever and to just see if it was going to go past and whether I should, you know, slap the side of the tent to encourage it to move on. But didn't stop, didn't seem interested, and didn't touch my bear canister, which was 40 foot away from the tent, and exactly the way I left it last night. But very unnerving when you're sleeping alone like that out here and you hear something that big go past. I'm just hiking up, I think it's about 2 miles up the Kersange Pass where I can go down to town and do a resupply. Very excited about that. Feel very disconnected out here. Last few days there's no cell service, no, obviously no internet or anything. So excited about that. Looking forward to having a little bit of rest before getting back out here in the trail. You don't need a geography teacher to explain this to you. See the snow up the top here, it's melting, and then the water coming all the way down. It has all these streams and rivers and they all join into one. So all the tributaries join into the main river on the way down the valley. Really, I mean, it makes total sense, pretty simple stuff, but really cool to see this in person. Really is. It's just insane to walk through somewhere like this. Really makes you feel very, very small. You have a very small place in this planet. You know, when you hear all the glacial waters running underneath you and running underneath all these rocks beside me, and you see all this water coming from just a small bit of snow melt, you realise just how minute we are in this ecosystem.
So yeah, I feel inspired out here, but how could you not be inspired when faced with this? I don't know, maybe it's just coincidence, or maybe not. Maybe it was watching my parents leave too soon, or maybe it was all the pent-up anger I felt for not knowing what I wanted to do with my life afterward. Or maybe everyone feels like this at some point, and it just takes time to realise that inspiration is just a word we decide to understand when the time is right. I may not truly understand it, but inspiration, it does come from within. When you're positive, I believe good things do happen.